back to Brainiac Baseball's 1983 Detroit play. Today's matchup is between the Detroit Tigers and the Milwaukee Brewers at Milwaukee County Stadium. On the mound for the Tigers today is Jack Morris, whose record is 11-4 with a 3.67 ERA. And pitching for the Brewers today is Jaime Cocanower, whose record is 4-9 with a 4.42 ERA. Okay, so we are set to start the proverbial second half of the season. We're in game 88, so we're a week beyond the halfway point of the season. We had the All-Star game yesterday. It was a lot of fun. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, you should. Almost every American League player got into the game. I think there was 3 pitchers that did not make it, and I kind of regret not starting or not at least attempting to pitch Stephon Weaver of the Yankees, because we are going to face the Yankees here in this road stretch that we have going on this week. Maybe we could have got him injured and helped out our cause in the long run, but it was a tight ball game, and there was a home run in this game by a player who had not hit a home run all season. Kind of crazy. I definitely recommend watching the game. It was kind of fun to play, and I think it's kind of fun to watch all of these so-called all-stars perform. So we head into the second half of the season. We have the Brewers on tap today. Because of the extended rest of the All-Star break, we're going to throw Jack Morris out there. And you may be wondering, did we make a deal for George Brett? The answer is yes, we did. Let's take a look at the transaction. We traded to Kansas City 4 players. We traded Hojo, who is actually going to be at their Double-A level. They've replaced George Brett with Darryl Motley, who was already on the roster on the bench. So he slides into the third base position. Hojo actually technically gets demoted to Double-A. So I feel kind of bad for Hojo, but I'm sure he'll get a spot before too long. Also a backup, at best, George Wright, a 4th outfielder, maybe a 5th outfielder. Just not a very good hitter in this game for some reason. We got him from Texas in a trade, and he was never going to play for us. He's 24 years old. We sent him to Kansas City. Maybe he'll get a shot at the majors with them. And then we got rid of Jerry Uger, who went right into the rotation. He is their number 2 starter behind Dennis Leonard. So, Jerry Uger had an okay season for us. A player that I really, really liked, actually, in real life in 1983. He won 10 games for Detroit, and we just don't have a spot for him right now. And he was a key component of getting the deal done. And also we sent over there a left-handed starter, Howard Bailey, who got a cup of coffee with us this year. Did not pitch very well. We kind of hung him out to dry in one of those relief appearances. But overall, a potentially pretty decent starter for them. He's in Triple-A, waiting for his shot, maybe in the rotation next year. So in return, we got George Brett. In fact, we've already got a baseball card in a Tiger uniform, so thanks to Jeremy DeJong for getting that together. And you can see he's having a great season, batting .299. He was an all-star. He's got a good defensive rating, certainly much better than Mickey Hatcher. George Brett does not have a Gold Glover at this point of his career. He did win one in 1985, his only Gold Glove. So maybe an underrated third baseman defensively. But certainly an upgrade over Mickey Hatcher. So Hatcher will go to the DH spot, and that we got $100,000 also in that deal. Since we waited 4 days, Kansas City was offering us $200,000 when I checked on the deal. They only gave us $100,000. So anyway, the point of it all is that we do have an odd man out, and that is going to be Greg Brock, who's actually killing it as a part-time hitter against right-handers, but now he kind of gets hung out to dry, which is kind of a bummer. But it's always good to have an extra bench player of his caliber. We will not be keeping Eddie Murray at the end of this season. He goes to free agency. We cannot afford him. We won't be keeping Rickey Henderson at this pace either. So anyway, Greg Brock will have a position on the Tigers next year as a starting first baseman. So, okay, let's go ahead and get today's game started. As always, I appreciate everyone following along. Like and or subscribe to the channel. Let's see what we've got here against the Brew Crew. Jack Morris, he pitched a scoreless inning in the All-Star game. And as you can see, everybody is rested. We called George Capizzello back up since we traded Bailey to Kansas City. So we have our full bullpen. Hopefully for the rest of the season, this is what we'll use. We will be getting Dan Petrie back in 15 days. So that's like getting a trade, essentially. I don't know who's he going to replace, Tom Filer or Steve Mura. We'll find out. If it's Tom Filer, Filer will go to the to AAA. If it's Steve Mura, we're going to have to cut him because he doesn't have any options left. And then Jaime Cocanower, right-hander, on the mound for the Brewers. And here is our lineup versus right-handers. Everybody healthy. And George Brett will be batting third in the lineup. Okay, let's go ahead and do the official Tigers lineup rundown. Batting leadoff, playing second base, is Sweet Lou Whitaker. Batting second in center field is Rickey Henderson. Batting third at third base is George Brett. Batting cleanup and DHing is Mickey Hatcher. Batting fifth, playing first base, is Eddie Murray. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, is Alan Trammell. Batting seventh in left field is Kirk Gibson. Batting eighth in right field is Glenn Wilson. And batting ninth and catching today is Terry Kennedy. Pitching for the Brew Crew is Jaime Cocanower, making his 15th start of the season. He was injured at one point, missing a few starts. He's 4-9 with a 4.42 ERA, more walks and strikeouts. Wow, he walked 138 last year. Opponents are batting .274 against him. He's got 2 complete games. His fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. His ground ball percentage is 48 1/3. He's got 4 pitches, but only 1 above average. That's his hard curve, which is rated at 83. Overall, rated at 79, the 26-year-old right-hander goes to arbitration at the end of the season. Okay, here we go. Let's take a look at the defense for the Milwaukee Brewers. A bunch of has-beens and never-wases in there, except for Paul Molitor at second base. Probably the best player on the team. No Gold Glovers either. And the catcher today is Charlie Moore, who's got an 86 arm. Okay, Sweet Lou leading off against Jaime Cocanower. Whitaker, fly ball to right. Plays made by Alan Cockrell. 1 out. Next up is Rickey Henderson. Rickey, a decent first half of the season. He is our, as of right now, he is the Tigers team MVP with 13 votes, despite having a rough end to the first half. Okay, 2 down. Here's George Brett in his first plate appearance as a Detroit Tiger. And Brett hits a ground ball to second. So Molitor makes the final 2 plays at the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Let's go ahead and do the lineup rundown for the Brew Crew. Batting leadoff and DHing today is Nick Capra. Batting second, playing third base, is Randy Reddy. Batting third, playing second base, is Paul Molitor. Batting cleanup in right field is Alan Cockrell. Batting fifth, playing first base, is Bob Skube. Batting sixth in left field is Doug Loman. Batting seventh and catching is Charlie Moore. Batting eighth, playing shortstop, is Ed Romero. And batting ninth in center field is Mike Felder. Pitching for the Tigers, it's our ace, Jack Morris, making his 19th start of the season. He's 11-4 with that .367 ERA. 87 strikeouts in 127 and 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents are batting .239 against him. He has 2 complete game shutouts. You kind of know the rest already. Pretty solid pitcher overall. The 28-year-old right-hander goes to free agency in 1984 next year. And taking a look at his log, oh, there's the All-Star game right there. He gave up 2 walks. That's not great. But he did throw 7 1/3 innings, giving up 2 runs on 8 hits in his last start versus Oakland. That's coming off that 11-run start versus Baltimore when we were having bullpen issues. He has faced Milwaukee one other time this year, and he got a no decision, throwing 9 innings. That was not a complete game. That went into extras, giving up 6 hits and 2 runs, striking out 4. Okay, here's the Tigers defense. Gold Glovers at first, second, and center field with Terry Kennedy and his 81 arm behind the plate. Here's Nick Capra leading off. He's DHing. Odd to see him in there when you have Gorman Thomas on the bench as a DH potentially, as Morris strikes him out. Morris comes out throwing bullets, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Catches Capra napping. 1 down. Next up is Randy Reddy. The Milwaukee Brewers, as Reddy strikes out as well, has the lowest team batting average in the American League. They're batting .242 overall. Not a surprise if you look at some of these batting averages. 2 down. Here's Paul Molitor, Hall of Famer, batting .280 with 7 home runs, and Morris strikes out the side. That is, I think, the first time we've had that happen this season. In the first inning. We've had a couple relievers do that, but I can't remember a starter. So we go to the top of the second inning with Mickey Hatcher leading off. Hatcher, pretty good first half, .288, 12 home runs. It's jammed inside, popping it up to third. Oh, it's dropped by the third baseman. Randy Reddy, and Hatcher is safe at first. So runner on first, here's Eddie Murray, leading the team with 14 home runs, batting .310. A ground ball to Molitor second. That could be 2. It is a double play. Normally I would have hit and run there, but I'm thinking we're due for a hit. And no dice. Molitor starts the 4-6-3 double play. So 2 down. Here is Alan Trammell. Trammell has 4 career home runs versus Cocanower. And he strikes out looking. We go to the bottom of the second, no score. We have Alan Cockrell leading off. He was last year's Rookie of the Year. This year, not so good, batting .231 with 12 home runs as Morris runs the count to full count and then walks Cockrell. So the leadoff man is on as Bob Skube steps in. Skube batting .269 with 10 home runs. A ground ball to Whitaker, and Whitaker boots it. Oh, man. Here we go. A walk and an error. Nobody out for Doug Loman. The left fielder, he's also in double digits with home runs, 10 for the season. He goes to left on the line. Gibby makes the sliding catch. Going to his left. Cockrell has to get back. And there's 1 down. Catcher Charlie Moore up. He's kind of the backup on this team to Dave Sachs. Certainly better defensively. A 2-1 count to Moore. A ground ball that gets past Murray at first. Cockrell scores. Skube holds at third, and it's 1-0 Milwaukee. We're going to pull the outfield in with Ed Romero up. Romero does have a home run on the year, but he's got no power otherwise. 1 for 6 in his career. One down, runners in second and third. There's a ground ball into the hole at short. And the play is at third. A run scores. Smart heads up play from Trammell. So we'll give up a run to get that out at third. 2 down. 2-0 Milwaukee. Here is Mike Felder, number 9 hitter. He's the batter that took over for Chet Lemon after he was traded to Detroit. Felder grounds out to second. We go to the top of the third. So the error, the leadoff walk, and then subsequently the error by Whitaker has cost the Tigers 2 runs. We go to the top of the third, I should say, with Kirk Gibson leading off. Tigers hitless so far today. Gibby popping it up to third. There's out number 1. Next up, Glenn Wilson. I went ahead and changed Glenn Wilson's card from the Flair card to the Topps card because all of our other Tigers now are Topps style. So I thought, why leave Wilson out of it? What is going on with this team? Why is Jaime Cocanower, a 4-9 pitcher, throwing a no-hitter here in the top of the third? Kennedy walks. So we go back to the top of the lineup with Sweet Lou. Lou's had his troubles with Cocanower. 2 for 17 and 2 walks in his career. Hey, there's a base hit up the middle. Kennedy goes to second. Perhaps a 2-out rally starting here as Rickey steps in. Rickey batting only .242 versus right-handers. He walks. Now the bases are loaded for Brett. All right, this is why we got George Brett for some clutch hitting. Now, Brett, in real life, in 1983, he did lead the American League in slugging and OPS. So let's see if he can transfer some of that to our sim, and he pops it up on the infield. Brett strands the bases loaded. We go to the bottom of the third. Nick Capra leading off against Morris. Striking out the first time up, and he gets a base hit past Trammell at short. Only the second hit given up by Morris. That will bring up Randy Reddy. And Capra was going on the pitch. Kennedy guns him down. I don't really think of Capra as a speedy guy. He's got 84 speed, so above average, but he's only a 50% caught stealing percentage, so not great. Randy Reddy belts it into left center field. Gibby makes the catch up against the wall. Allowed out, 2 down. As Paul Molitor steps in. Molitor 5 for 21 in his career against Morris with 2 home runs. And he sends a fly ball to center. We go to the top of the fourth. Tigers' bats have been anemic so far. As Mickey Hatcher, now the DH, steps in. Fly ball to center. 1 down. Next up is Eddie Murray. A lot of fly balls, but not a lot of results. 2 quick outs for Cocanower here in the top of the fourth. Alan Trammell up next, and a base hit up the middle. There we go, Trammell. Is that his second hit? I think does he have both hits? No, because I think Whitaker had the other hit, right? There we go. So, okay, Trammell on first. Now, normally I would steal in this position with Charlie Moore behind the plate and being down 2 runs. I guess we have to let Gibby try to tie it up here with this one swing. Oh, he pulls it down the right field line. There was a lot of velocity coming off that bat as Trammell goes into third. And another opportunity for the Tigers to finally get on the board. Glenn Wilson struck out first time up, first and third, 2 down. And Wilson hits a grounder to second. Tigers have now stranded 6 base runners through 4. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Jack Morris at 52 pitches came out firing bullets. And, there we go. That's strikeout number 4. I was wondering if he was going to get another strikeout. He was on such a great pace there. 4 Ks for Morris, 1 down as Bob Skube steps in. Skube with a ground ball to short. Trammell makes the play. 2 down now for Doug Loman. He goes to left with a base hit, falls in front of Gibby. 3rd hit for the Brew Crew. Runner on first. That will bring up Charlie Moore. He drove in a run in the 2nd inning, and he gets another hit down the left field line. Loman has to hold at 3rd. What has gotten into Charlie Moore today? He's 2 for 2. I mean, he's got a sub 500 OPS, and he is absolutely crushing it. Okay, so Ed Romero at the plate. We're going to play straight away. 201 hitter versus righties. There's a ground ball to Whitaker. He plays this one cleanly. And we go to the top of the 5th. Tigers are still down 2 runs. Jaime Cocanower at 65 pitches. And Terry Kennedy, who walked his first plate appearance, steps in. He goes deep, but it's not going to be deep enough. Dying at the warning track. 380-foot shot caught by Felder. 1 down. We're back to Lou. Lou's at least got a hit today. A ground ball to second. 2 outs. And Rickey strikes out. Wow, we are... 4 days off did not do us any good. We are in rough shape here. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning with Mike Felder leading off. 0 for 1 today. A blooper into left center field. Is that going to fall in? Oh, it does fall in. I thought it was going to be caught at the last second. It falls in. Why is Felder not on second? I guess maybe he's going to go for a stolen base here. So the leadoff man is on. I am going to pull 3rd base in. Capra's pretty good at bunting. But I would not be surprised if Felder is going on the first pitch. Nope. Capra swinging away. There we go. Out number 1. We'll play straight away here with Randy Reddy up. There we go. And it's just a matter of time. Felder has 26 stolen bases in 50 games. Like I said, you may remember, he got the position when we traded for Lemon, who's now out for the season for us. So that's not a bad trade-off. He's batting .313 with 2 home runs, 26 stolen bases in 50 games. We got to pull the outfield in now. At least try to prevent Felder from scoring. Oops. There we go. 1-2 count. Ready. High fly ball to right. Will that be deep enough to get Felder to 3rd? It is not. Not going to run on Wilson's arm. Smart play. I would not be surprised if Wilson is a Gold Glove candidate. 2 down. Here's Paul Molitor. Dangerous hitter. And Morris walks him. I don't fault him for that. Walking Molitor to get to Cockrell. Pitching around him anyway. Not a bad decision. 1st and 2nd. Here's Alan Cockrell. He does have some pop, though. 96 power. So he can get a hold of one, and he strikes out. 5 Ks for Morris. We go to the top of the 6th. George Brett, 0 for 2 today. Let's take a look at the in-game stats. Not a lot to see here. Maybe George Brett can get player of the game. Oh, he strikes out as Cocanower handcuffs him. 4 Ks for Cocanower. 1 out. Mickey Hatcher up, also 0 for 2 today. Oh, a base hit that gets past the shortstop. That definitely looked like a catchable ball, but it sneaks right past Romero. So now we are going to hit and run. We're not going to make that mistake again. There we go. Hatcher was safe on an error the first time. We did not hit and run with Murray, and there was a double play. So this time, oh, he pounds it right into the dirt in front of Charlie Moore, and Moore throws it away. Hatcher goes to third. Murray coasts into second base. Second error by the Brew Crew. And the Tigers have a chance here to do something good. They're not going to play in with the infield. So Trammell, who's 6 for 18 against Cocanower, we're going to try to hit to the right side. That should allow Hatcher to score if it's put the ball on the ground. Oh, he pops it up. Damn it. That sucks. That will leave it up to Gibson. Gibby does have a hit today. He's 4 for 9 with 3 walks in his career versus Cocanower. We need a big hit here. We've stranded a lot of runners in scoring position. Okay, Gibson will walk. Third walk by Cocanower, who's up to 90 pitches. And I like Glenn Wilson in this spot. Wilson 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Bases loaded, 2 down. Here we go. 1-2 count. Oh, ground ball, base hit past the third baseman. Hatcher scores. The runner from second scores. That's Eddie Murray, and the game is tied. Randy Reddy has an error, and he missed that ball, allowing the Tigers to tie it up, and we have an opportunity here to take the lead. Finally, though, coming through with the runners in scoring position. Kennedy walks for the second time today, and now the bases are loaded for Lou. Lou's got a hit, and I'm thinking this might be Cocanower's last batter. He's at 99 pitches. Let's see if Lou can come through. Bases loaded. 2 down. Full count. 3-0 count, and he walks in a run. He walks in the go-ahead run. Cocanower coming apart at the seams here in the 6th inning. Normally, even when we score on a walk with the bases loaded, I tend not to like it, but I'm grateful for that one. We'll take it. That will bring up Rickey Henderson with the bases loaded, 2 down. Henderson not opposed to taking a walk. He's already got 1 today. 3-1 count, and he walks Henderson. That'll do it. They're going to bring in the left-hander, Frank DePino. Take a look at Frank DePino real quick here. 27th game in relief. He's 3-1. With a 3.41 ERA, 22 strikeouts in 31 and 2/3 innings pitched. Opponents are batting .264 against him. He's got 1 save. He was the closer for a part of the time last year. His fastball tops out at 89 miles an hour. He's a ground ball pitcher, 48.2%. Fastball is his best pitch, rated an 84. A couple other pitches below average. And he is rated an 80. The 26-year-old left-hander goes to arbitration at the end of the season. Okay. George Brett. Now, he is a left-hander, of course, and he is batting .241 versus lefties. Not great. Let's see how he does in this spot. Right down the pipe. He just watches it go by. He's got to be swinging. So Brett 0 for 4 in his debut, and twice left the bases loaded today. Tigers take the lead. We put 4 on the board. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. No, I would like to get 1 more inning out of Morris, but he's going to have to go through a couple left-handers here. Starting with Bob Skube. Morris did just pitch in the All-Star game, and I believe he started the previous game, Rosie had the last start before the All-Star break, and then Morris went before then. So he's pitched 3 times this week, basically. There's a walk. That is not what you want. The third walk from Morris. That will bring up Doug Loman. 1 for 2 today from Loman. There's a fly ball to center. That's catchable for Henderson. 1 down. Here's Charlie Moore. Charlie Moore has Morris's number. He's 2 for 2 today. He's 8 for 13 in his career. We need a double play is what we need. Ground ball. Give me a ground ball. Nope. Fly ball to center field. Pretty deep. Charlie Moore does not get cheated against Morris. 2 down. Here is Ed Romero. Runner at first. That's Bob Skube. And he strikes out Romero. Strikeout number 6 for Morris. We go to the top of the 7th. That's probably going to be it for Jack. We go to the top of the 7th inning. Frank DePino still in the ballgame with Mickey Hatcher leading off. Hatcher batting .304 versus lefties. 1 for 3 on the day. A 74 mile an hour changeup. Hatcher out in front of it. Pops it up. 1 down. That will bring up Murray. Murray 0 for 3 today. Jammed inside. Hits a ground ball to second. Molitor makes the play. That will bring up Alan Trammell. Trammell does not hit lefties well. Doesn't make any sense. I can't explain it. He strikes out looking. All right, so a nice 1-2-3 inning for DePino. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Morris at 100 pitches. As I mentioned, he just pitched a couple of games ago. We're going to take him out. And it's the 7th inning, so we're going to bring in Dave Smith. Now, Smith, much maligned prior to the All-Star break. We go right to his log. This guy has given up a ton of runs. He's got a 7.50 ERA in his last 20 games. He has a .338 batting average against. He is getting a strikeout per inning. But we got to get Dave Smith right. And we got a 2-run lead here. We'll see how Smith does against Mike Felder. Leading off, he's 1 for 2. He's got a stolen base today and a base hit up the middle. Wow. Dave Smith, what is the deal? So Felder on first. They're down 2 runs. I can't imagine he would be stealing. But the hit and run could be on. Stay out of the double play. He is stealing. That makes no sense. Except for staying out of the double play. So he's got 27 on the season. We're going to pull the outfield in. Nick Capra's got no power. So try to prevent Felder from scoring on a base hit. There's a nice curveball from Smith, striking out Capra. There's out number 1. We will play straight away for Randy Reddy, who's 0 for 3 today with a strikeout. Only batting .174 versus right-handers. A line drive right to Whitaker. Let's double him off. Felder gets back. Dave Smith has got to mix it up a little bit. He's through 5 straight fastballs. What is his arsenal? He's got 4 pitches. I mean, fastball is his best pitch. He's got to definitely need to mix it up a bit. Okay, Paul Molitor. This is going to be a tough one here. Molitor batting .263 versus right-handers. Smith strikes him out, an inside sinker. A nice job there by Smith after giving up the lead-off single. We go to the top of the 8th inning. We've got DePino still in the ball game. We're going to take out Kirk Gibson here. We're going to bring in Eddie Miller, batting .368. He's a better defensive outfielder, so he'll come in defensively. Miller, switch hitter, batting .368 versus lefties. Here we go. Full count. Oh, he takes strike 3 looking. He did work the count, though. as DePino's up to 28 pitches. Up next is Glenn Wilson, probably player of the game so far. Oh, wow. Looking bad. Striking out on a pitch that was way low and outside. That will bring up Terry Kennedy. 0 for 1, 2 walks today. Hey! Oh, I thought that was going to be a base hit. It said it's going to be allowed out to right. All right, that's a bummer. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning, taking out Dave Smith, and we're going to bring in Dave Rucker. Now, Rucker, he's an enigma. He gets righties out at a better clip than he does lefties. So we got a right-hander starting off the inning and then 2 left-handers. As far as his log goes, he's pulled it together. He had 2 bad back-to-back outings that jacked up his ERA, but for the most part, he's been pretty solid. And maybe deserving of a longer contract. Okay, so Alan Cockrell steps in, batting .216 versus lefties. And we have Eddie Miller out there in left field. Man, Cockrell's trying to go deep. Instead, flies out to Miller, 1 down. Bob Skube up next, 0 for 2 with a walk, batting .218 versus left-handers. Taking a cut at a high fastball, forkball, I guess it was. Popping out, 2 down. That will bring up Doug Loman. He's a 150 hitter versus lefties. And Rucker induces a ground ball to Trammell, and that'll do it. So we are going to the 9th inning. Tigers are up 4-2. A new pitcher. It is Bob Gibson. Not that Bob Gibson, this Bob Gibson. He is their closer this year. 33rd appearance, 2-2 with that .277 ERA. Look at the ERA from last year. Awesome. 39 innings pitched. He's got 24 Ks. Opponents are batting .200 against him. 15 saves, 4 blueies. His fastball tops out at 91 miles an hour. Pretty good for this era. His ground ball percentage is 48.8%. He's got 2 pitches, a fastball and a hard slider, both above average. Overall rated an 80. The 26-year-old right-hander goes to arbitration in 1985. A couple years away. Okay, we got Lou leading off. It's Lou, Rickey, and George Brett. Lou hits a ground ball to first. Skube makes the play. 1 out. Next up is Rickey Henderson. Walks for the 2nd time today. I think we're going to test Charlie Moore. Why else do we have Rickey Henderson if not to steal? 75% chance of being successful, and Charlie Moore has a tremendous arm, rated an 86. Here we go. Fastball, and Henderson is safe at second. The 41st stolen base on the season. Henderson's 2nd best in all of baseball, behind Otis Nixon. So another opportunity for George Brett with a runner in scoring position. He's had a pretty bad debut, 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts. And a ground ball to short. Henderson taking the bag at third. That was a risky play. Maybe trying to distract Romero. 2 down. Runner on third. Mickey Hatcher up. We could sure use an insurance run here. And he pops it up. All right. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. It's been a pretty good ball game. Time to bring in the closer, Roger Weaver. I do miss his Hell's Bells Bells song. We got copyright infringed on. All right, Roger Weaver. He has been bad. But he's put together a couple good outings. He's got 3 saves in a row. This stretch right here was not so hot. Almost a 7 ERA in the last 20 games. And overall, not a lot of good things to say. He has 16 saves and 3 blueies. And he will get an opportunity here with the 7, 8, and 9 batters due up. Starting with Charlie Moore, having a good ball game today. He's 2 for 3 with a ribby. And he walks him. Crap. We're going to bring the corners in with Ed Romero up. Romero 0 for 2 in his career versus Roger Weaver. 2-2 count. A comebacker to Weaver. And he gets the lead runner Moore at second. Force at second base. Okay, now we have to guard the lines with Romero on first. Felder having a tremendous game. 2 for 3. 2 stolen bases. Guarding the lines. Here we go. Mike Felder. 2-2 count. And that was a good call. He got a base hit into right field. We had the players in position as Romero advances to second. Now he pulled the outfield in with Nick Capra. Again, no power on this guy. All right, here we go. It's always an adventure with Roger Weaver. Line drive to right. And it's going to be caught by Wilson. Romero had to go halfway. He was looking to score. And so he has to retreat to second. First and second, 2 down. Randy Reddy is up. Randy Reddy does have power. One swing of the bat can walk this game off. First and second, 2 down. We're going to play straight away for Randy Reddy. Here we go. He's 0 for 4 on the day. And he strikes out looking. That was a tough call by the umpire. And the Tigers win 4-2. Handshakes, butt slaps, sloppy steaks. Whew, that was a nice victory. As the Tigers win 4-2, let's take a look at the standings. As my phone goes off, we've won 7 in a row. 22 games over 500. New York and Boston find themselves 3.5 back. Baltimore's 9 back. Let's take a look at the National League. New York and Montreal in the race, 2 games back for Montreal, and San Diego. We traded to get Steve Mura. What did they do? They went ahead and put Guy Solars in their lineup. With Marky Wags from last year, Mark Wagner is an everyday shortstop for them. And now Guy Solars is their everyday third baseman. So I think we sabotaged that team. Okay, let's take a look at the headline news. National League. Oh, yeah. Well, here we go. That's the All-Star Game information there. Feel free to read it over if you like. J.R. Richard went 5 innings in the All-Star Game. If you didn't watch, it was pretty ridiculous. Tigers trade for George Brett. I've already told you all about that. Terrible debut for him today, though. And that's all there is. There's nothing about today's game. Let's go ahead and take a look at transactions. We're coming up to the trade deadline. Tug McGraw is going to retire from the Phillies. He did not pitch this year. A nice long career for him. And Atlanta's Brett Butler broke his hip like a geriatric. He's only 26 years old, and that's going to slow him down. 103 days. He's done for the season. Who is going to be the Braves' center fielder now? This team is all jacked up. Let's take a look at their lineup without the DH, yeah. Center field is now going to be Albert Hall, Royal Albert Hall. He has not played this year. He's been in AAA, putting up some good numbers. 43 stolen bases. This is just a weird team. They've made so many trades. Kind of a shocker. Okay, let's pull up the box score and get out of here. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and or subscribe to the channel. We're on a nice little run here. Coming up against the Yankees at the end of this series, I think that's going to be a true test for us. Maybe we're not done making trades, maybe in the market for another starting pitcher, maybe a closer. We're going to give the Player of the Game award to Glenn Wilson. His 2 RBI was a big hit. We needed that. Morris gets the win. He's 12-4, only giving up 1 earned run thanks to the Lou Whitaker error. The bullpen made it interesting, but overall, Weaver did get his 17th save. Jaime Cocanower pitched well. Really, all of the runs were unearned as he falls to 4-10 on the season. That's going to do it. We're going to come back tomorrow with Game 2 of the 3-game series. Until then, everyone, have a great night.